Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer.
6 Russian groups of forces Axis report offensive activity. WUUS Group captures 10 strongholds and 46 buildings in Krasny Liman, while South Group liberates 103 buildings in Konstantinovka. Total claimed Ukrainian losses across all sectors reach more than 1,440 troops. Russian operational tactical aviation, attack drones, missile troops, and artillery strike Ukrainian oil processing facilities, fuel and power infrastructure, transport infrastructure, fuel depots, UAV assembly and storage areas, and temporary deployment locations in 142 areas. Air defense systems shoot down 12 guided aerial bombs and 734 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's start with the big picture. Total Ukrainian losses across all 6 sectors are more than 1,440 troops. That is very similar to yesterday's 1,450. But the air defense figure is remarkable. 734 UAVs shot down in a single day. That is the highest daily figure we've seen. What does this tell us about the current state of the drone war?
The sustained daily attrition rate of over 1,400 troops remains a baseline. But the air defense figure is indeed extraordinary. 734 fixed-wing UAVs shot down in a single day represents a significant escalation in Ukrainian drone operations and a corresponding escalation in Russian air defense capacity. To put this in perspective, Ukraine is likely launching well over 1,000 drones per day across the entire front. Shooting down 734 of them means that Russian air defense is maintaining an interception rate of roughly 70%. That is a very high rate of effectiveness, but it also means that several hundred drones are getting through, which will cause damage to Russian positions. The fact that Russian air defense can sustain this level of interception day after day indicates that they have adequate missile stocks, radar coverage, and early warning systems. This is not just a tactical achievement, it's a strategic capability.
Let's go sector by sector, starting with the North Group. They improved the tactical situation again, striking a mechanized brigade, a motorized infantry brigade, and a territorial defense brigade in Sumy, and 2 mechanized brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in Kharkov. Losses: over 210 troops, a Grad MLRs, and notably an Israeli-made RADA counterfire radar. This is the first time we've seen a RADA radar mentioned. What is it, and why is its destruction significant?
The RADA is an Israeli-developed counterfire radar system, specifically designed to detect incoming artillery and rocket fire and calculate the trajectory to determine the launch point. It's a highly advanced system that allows Ukrainian artillery to conduct effective counter-battery fire. By locating the source of Russian artillery fire, Ukrainian forces can target those positions with their own guns. Destroying a RADA radar in the North Sector is significant for several reasons. First, it demonstrates that Russian intelligence and strike assets are tracking and targeting these advanced Western sensor systems. Second, it degrades Ukraine's ability to conduct counter-battery operations in that sector, which will allow Russian artillery to operate with greater freedom. Third, it indicates that Russian forces are expanding their targeting beyond just armored vehicles and artillery pieces to include the sophisticated sensor systems that make Ukrainian artillery effective.
Now the West Group. They took more advantageous lines and positions, and in Krasny Liman, units of the 67th Motorized Rifle Division seized 10 strongholds and mopped up 46 buildings. They also neutralized 6 remote-controlled robotic systems. Total sector losses: more than 220 troops, 2 artillery guns, and 1 electronic warfare station. What does the continued capture of strongholds and buildings tell us about the pace of operations in Krasny Liman?
The capture of 10 strongholds and 46 buildings in a single day indicates that the 67th Division is maintaining a steady, methodical pace of urban clearance. 10 strongholds in one day is a significant number. Each stronghold represents a fortified defensive position that requires a coordinated assault. The fact that they're capturing strongholds at this rate suggests that Ukrainian resistance in the northwestern part of Krasny Liman is weakening, or that Russian forces have developed effective tactics for neutralizing these positions. The neutralization of 6 remote-controlled robotic systems continues the pattern we've observed of systematic counter-robotic operations. The destruction of one electronic warfare station in the west sector adds to the cumulative degradation of Ukrainian counter-drone capabilities. The total sector losses of more than 220 troops and 17 motor vehicles represent a significant daily toll for Ukrainian forces in this sector.
The West Group's assault groups are advancing westwards. What does that indicate about their operational objectives?
Advancing westwards from Krasny Liman suggests that Russian forces are not just content with clearing the town, they are expanding their control into the surrounding areas. The westward advance could be aimed at securing the flanks of the Krasny Liman salient, pushing Ukrainian forces further away from key logistics routes, or preparing for a broader offensive toward the administrative borders of Donetsk region. The fact that they're advancing while simultaneously clearing buildings indicates a coordinated effort to both consolidate gains and expand the operational area.
Now the South Group. They liberated 103 buildings in Konstantinovka and continued their offensive in all directions, destroying scattered enemy groups in the southwestern part. They also destroyed 21 ground-based robotic systems and, notably, 27 UAV command posts. That is a huge number of command posts. What does the destruction of 27 UAV command posts in a single day tell us about the nature of the fighting in Konstantinovka?
The destruction of 27 UAV command posts in a single day is remarkable. A UAV command post is essentially a mobile or static facility where drone operators control reconnaissance and strike drones. Each command post can coordinate multiple drones. Destroying 27 of them means that Russian forces have systematically targeted and eliminated a significant portion of Ukraine's drone command and control infrastructure in Konstantinovka. This will have an immediate effect on Ukrainian reconnaissance and targeting in that sector. Without command posts, drone operators cannot effectively coordinate their flights, which reduces the accuracy of Ukrainian artillery and the effectiveness of their reconnaissance. The fact that 21 ground-based robotic systems were also destroyed suggests that Russian forces are systematically hunting both the drones themselves and the infrastructure that supports them.
The report says the South Group is continuing its offensive in all directions. What does that imply about their operational approach?
In all directions suggests that the South Group is not just focused on a single axis of advance. They are applying pressure across the entire Konstantinovka front, clearing buildings, eliminating scattered groups, and pushing outward into the surrounding areas. This is a deliberate strategy to prevent Ukrainian forces from concentrating their defenses at any single point. By advancing in all directions, Russian forces are also complicating Ukrainian command and control, forcing them to respond to multiple simultaneous threats.
The Center Group reported more than 335 Ukrainian troop losses, the highest of any sector today, and struck 2 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, a marine brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades. That is a very significant daily toll. What does this tell us about the intensity of fighting in the center sector?
More than 335 troops lost in a single sector in a single day is a very high figure, the highest we've seen for the Center Group in recent briefings. The engagement of 2 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, a marine brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades indicates that Ukraine has committed a broad array of forces to this sector. The locations, Zolotoy Kolodez, Novogrishino, Dobropoli, Rubezhnoy, Vodyanskoye in Donetsk, and Novogrigorovka in Dnipropetrovsk, suggest a wide front of operations. The fact that 2 field artillery guns were also destroyed reduces Ukraine's fire support capability in this area. The Center Group appears to be maintaining steady pressure across its entire area of responsibility.
Now the East Group. They reported up to 460 Ukrainian troop losses, the second highest today, and they continued advancing into the depth of enemy defenses. They struck 2 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, 2 air assault brigades, an assault regiment, and a marine brigade. They also destroyed a self-propelled artillery system. What does this tell us about the East Group's operational goals?
The East Group remains a major effort for ground maneuver. Up to 460 troops lost in a single day is a very high figure. The engagement of 2 air assault brigades, which are among Ukraine's most mobile units, along with an assault brigade, 2 mechanized brigades, and a marine brigade, suggests that Ukraine is committing its most capable forces to this sector. The locations are spread across Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporozhye regions, Pokrovskoye, Kolomytsi, Gavrilovka, Vodyanoye, Chaplino, Dibrova in Dnipropetrovsk, and Shirakoye in Zaporozhye. This indicates a very wide front. The destruction of a self-propelled artillery system reduces Ukraine's ability to provide mobile fire support. The East Group appears to be conducting a sustained penetration operation, attempting to rupture the Ukrainian defensive line.
The Dnipro Group reported more than 50 troops, 9 motor vehicles, and 2 electronic warfare stations destroyed. That's a more modest day compared to some sectors. Why is the Dnipro sector quieter today?
The Dnipro sector covers the Kherson axis and the Zaporozhye front near the DTEL River. Today's activity is focused on 1 mechanized brigade and 1 territorial defense brigade near Yurkovka, Orikov, and Lyubimovka. The destruction of 2 electronic warfare stations continues the pattern of systematic degradation of Ukrainian counter-drone capabilities. The lower casualty count, more than 50 troops, suggests that this sector is in a stabilization phase, with both sides conducting reconnaissance and artillery duels rather than major assaults. The Dnipro Group's role appears to be fixing Ukrainian forces and degrading their logistics rather than pursuing rapid territorial gains.
The report states that strikes were carried out in 142 areas, targeting Ukrainian oil processing facilities, fuel and power infrastructure, transport infrastructure, fuel depots, UAV assembly and storage areas, and temporary deployment areas. Air defense shot down 12 guided aerial bombs and 734 fixed-wing UAVs. Colonel Oguntoye, we've already discussed the UAV figure, but what about the other aspects of the aviation summary?
The 142 strike areas continue the sustained tempo of deep strikes we've observed over the past week. The target set is consistent: oil processing facilities to degrade Ukraine's fuel supply, fuel and power infrastructure to disrupt logistics, transport infrastructure to interdict Western aid, fuel depots to reduce combat supplies, UAV assembly and storage areas to reduce drone launches, and temporary deployment areas to kill personnel before they reach the front. The targeting of oil processing facilities is particularly significant because it attacks Ukraine's ability to refine and distribute fuel, which is essential for military operations. The interception of 12 guided aerial bombs, likely Western-supplied glide bombs, demonstrates continued air defense effectiveness against these precision munitions.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that the drone war is intensifying. The interception of 734 UAVs in a single day is the highest daily figure we've observed, indicating that both sides are escalating their drone operations. The strategic implication is that Ukraine is maintaining a very high drone launch tempo to compensate for artillery shortages and to conduct reconnaissance, while Russian air defense is demonstrating the capacity to intercept a significant portion of these drones. However, the fact that several hundred drones are still getting through means that Russian forces must continue to adapt their counter-drone tactics and technologies.